Hello everyone and welcome back to Get Psyched. I'm Rutuja.
And I'm Ragini. We're both UG1 students at Flame University, and this is the second term of our first year.
Year 1 at Flame is all about exploration. That means we have a lot of options to choose from. And as psych majors, as someone who likes to be prepared for what's to come next year, I have taken 2 psych courses just so I know what to expect.
I, on the other hand, am very sure that I want to pursue psychology in college, but I'm not so sure about my minor. I actually have no idea what I want to do. So I've taken courses from a bunch of other fields so I can figure that out more easily by the time I have to actually pick a minor.
That's interesting. So, Ragini, what does a day in your life look like?
Hey guys, so this is me in sculpture class after running out of my room at 9:50 a.m. because the one thing you can count on me to do is be just in time for a class as long as it starts before 12. So anyways, we're working with clay in this class and that's a bit frustrating for me because I'm used to working with wood sculptures and clay requires a lot more patience. But it's still a lot of fun, but the big problem is it requires drawing and I can't draw to save my life. So I'm somehow managing to get through this course. Next, I had a princess moment because Rutuja decided to pick me up from class because we have physics together afterwards. And we walked to physics, talked about our day and what we had planned for it. Next, we were talking about a perpetual motion machine in physics class, which is something I won't bore you with explaining. But we accused the professor of favoritism because some students were being able to do the experiment and others weren't, and he denied it. But then we found out that it was in fact favoritism because it was controlled by a switch. So there's that. This is just me walking to the mess for lunch because I was starving. Then I just went back to my room after hanging out with my friends for a bit, took a nap, and now I'm headed for kickboxing. We're gonna start learning kicks today, and I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I am seeing this now and realizing that this looks a lot like a dance class. I promise that it is not. I wish it was that easy. But yeah, this is just us warming up so that we don't pull a muscle or anything because it has happened to me in the past before and it's really, really painful. Not a fun experience, 0 out of 10, would not recommend. But yeah, we did the warming up and then I had to stop recording, otherwise Sir would have scolded me because we were going to start actually sparring with each other then. We did some basic punch, kick, footwork combos, the whole thing. And then we had conditioning, which was hell. But yeah, it's a very, very tiring class, but also a very, very fun class. And I'm so glad I finally got to take it in term 2 after not being able to get it in term 1.
How was your day?
Very exhausting. So after my courses were done, like my studying courses, the last class of the day that I had was kickboxing. And because we've had a few sessions done by now, the first hour or so of the class was just us sparring with our partners in different combos. But then it was the conditioning, and that is one of the most tiring things I've ever had to do in my life. So obviously I was very hungry after that, went to the mess right afterwards, had dinner, hung out with my friends for a little while, then realized that I decided to pick physics as a course for some reason.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So I headed back to my room to try and study physics. And at some point I realized it was 3 a.m. and then passed out and went to sleep.
Well, that sounds like a productive day. And funnily enough, my day is comically different from yours.
How so?
My first class being pretty early in the morning, I'm going to go get breakfast right now and prepare myself with a ton of coffee for critical reasoning. This course is definitely one of the most interesting courses that I have in this term. As challenging as it was, I definitely found it a lot more enjoyable once I was able to understand the concepts and apply them to the examples given in class. Admittedly, the best part was racing to the mess in between 2 sessions in the 10-minute break that we got just to grab coffee and a slice of bread, returning back to class just in time for attendance. Since I have about 2 hours to myself, I'm going to go to my room and make myself a cup of noodles and eat it while I watch some Netflix. Before that, though, I want to finish up some laundry and clean up around my room because I always love having something or the other to do. Also, the reason I'm eating now is because I have classes back to back starting from 12 and I will not get any time for lunch, so I thought it'd be a good idea to snack a little now and eat something later at about 5 p.m. when the mess opens back up. The class I have right now is the psychology of self and identity, and it's definitely one of my favorite classes because of how interactive it is. It has a lot of group work, and while you get to talk and share your thoughts, you also get to listen to people share their own thoughts and just gain a whole new perspective on new concepts that you don't just learn about every single day. I have 15 minutes before my next lecture starts, and I am so excited to spend it with Bum. She is the most adorable dog I've met on campus, and by far my moment of peace in between classes. Because on days with 6 hours of lectures, God knows I need that. It's the final lecture of the day, and I can confidently say that I am exhausted. This lecture is Methods in Psychology, and it is truly as interesting as it can get. My professor definitely tries as hard as she can to make this an interesting lecture by encouraging group activities and allowing us to have open discussions and dialogues. But it is Methods in Psychology, and there's only so much that you can do. So, by the end of this lecture, as soon as I hit my bed, I am ready to crash. I woke up right in time for my volleyball class and I rushed because our coach makes us run a lap for every minute that we're late, and there is no way I'm going to do that, which is exactly why I will run now than do 15 laps later on. Because he has made people do that, and he has made people run extra if they haven't completed their laps or if they haven't informed him which laps they're on. That's not something I want to go through. Nuh-uh. Apart from that, however, I definitely do enjoy the sport, and playing it with my friends is pretty much the best part of it all because this is my second time taking the sport this year, and my friends are doing the same thing. So we kind of already know what we're doing, and we're kind of just messing around with the ball, as you can see. I happened to come across a little workshop right after volleyball, and I had to write about what I would do against all odds. After that, I went for dinner and ate a quick bite before I went and sat down with the dogs. This is how I unwind. This is how I let go of all of the stress that I've been holding in all day. Because after a long day of lectures and sports and going from one place to the other, all I need is to pet Junior and all of the problems in the world are solved.
So that seems like it was a very long day, but I at least definitely had fun with the class that I chose.
I'm still a bit worried about you. Because, I mean, how do you feel about going into year two and not having as much freedom of choice as you do now?
I mean, I'm very excited to start studying psychology at a college level. Like, I've wanted to do that for years now. The only big issue that I can think of is that all my seniors have told me that most of the psychology classes are 8 a.m.s, and I'm not excited for that.
That definitely sounds like a nightmare for you.
Yeah, not a morning person.
Yeah, for sure. I'm personally excited to study psychology as if my choice in courses did not make that obvious.
So, anyways, that was a day in our lives. Thank you, and see you next time.